Alright guys, Rukage here and welcome back to the brand new video. Here we are, Soul Lemon Rice will be the topic. On today's video, I want to make an updated version of guide how to grind and how to farm, how to get all shadow traces as much as possible, right? Because the brand new shadow is dropping really soon. The brand new shadow will be KAISEL, right? And it will drop in like... I'll double check that now in a moment. But here it is, this is that shadow. And overall, we still don't know the information about this shadow. But at the end of the day, it's KAISEL, okay? Most likely this shadow will be extremely broken. And at the end of the day, it is the best that you are ready, even for the Elite Knight if possible. Now, to unlock the KAISEL shadow, you will need 100 shadow traces, right? And then, if you wanna rank it up, if it will be worth it, which I truly believe it will be, if you wanna rank it up to Elite Knight, you need another 600 shadow traces. So ideally, it would be the best that you have 700 shadow traces when KAISEL drops. So pretty much I will show you now the guide to what is all the ways and what are the best ways to get those shadow traces, because now we have so many more places to get that shadow traces than before. Okay, I will dive in detail related about all of this. Now, no worries, you don't have to have exactly 700 shadow traces. Like in the beginning, if you can reach Knight, that's also really good. So it's like overall 450 shadow traces, and then eventually we'll grind more and you're gonna be able to get it to Elite Knight. So I truly believe KAISEL will be worth getting to the Elite Knight, and that's why this guide is extremely important. Before we start, please make sure to support me in content creator program. We are now on a roll to 800 supporters. Massive shout out to my top supporters. One of the videos today will be only for the codes, pretty much, because I wanna make sure that those codes doesn't go to waste, and it will be for everyone. I'll create a video where everyone will be able to get the codes, unless I get like 10,000 views or something like that. But we're gonna see everything on that video. Okay, so yeah, the brand new shadow KAISEL is dropping. He has been already teased 2 days ago and before officially confirmed. So let me now just go into game really quickly. And let me go here. So just for the people who don't know, Shadow KAISEL with the Baran update, etc., with the new dark lowly characters, will drop in 12 days and 15 hours. Okay, now, so what are the ways, all the ways that you can get shadow traces now? So if we go into the shop, first of all, by leveling your Sung, eventually when you level up you will get plenty of shadow traces, by the way. So leveling Sung is super important to do. Before we had shadow traces right here in Battlefield of Time. We don't have it anymore, but that's not a problem at all, okay, because now we have so much more places to get it. Okay, so one of the places to get shadow traces are the gates. Okay, so gates are also a nice way to get shadow traces. For example, if I go into Dungeon Break, here I have a chance to pull shadow traces. If I go in a normal gate, I have a chance to pull shadow traces, etc. So really pulling shadow traces now in the gates, you have a really pretty solid chance to get it. Okay, now that doesn't mean you're gonna get it every single time, but let me just show you. Yeah, boom, 3 shadow traces here. Boom, let me continue with the sweep, for example, more shadow traces here. So we get it pretty oftenly, and the gates will be one of the easiest way to get it, especially if you're paid to win and you can just sweep around. That would be like super easy to get those shadow traces. Okay, as you can see, in 3 times that I've done those gates, I got them like already over 10, I would say, something like that. Let me see the S rank, for example. Boom, sweep. Okay, yeah, sometimes you don't get it, sometimes you get it, but this is the easy way pretty much to get those shadow traces. Another way to get the shadow traces is through the story. Now I cannot honestly remember Are we getting also? I know we're getting shadow traces in story as well, but I cannot remember. And can I double check that? Can I see the rewards previously? Yeah, I believe we cannot see the previous rewards, so I'm not sure on which stages precisely. But in some stages, especially in reverse mode, if I remember correctly, you can get shadow traces as well. So yeah, by playing story overall, you will get shadow traces. I'm just not 100% sure where exactly in which chapter. So I apologize for that, but I just cannot double check currently. Okay. Also, by leveling Sung, you will get them as well after reaching certain level. And as well, we have achievements levels, where on level 54, if you still didn't reach it, you will get 50 shadow traces. So that's a really, really nice way to grind the shadow traces. Okay, as well, the shadow traces you can get in Battlefield of Trials. If we go here, if we go into the challenges, I believe there is like chapter 9, 10, maybe sooner than that. Yeah, floor 5 in the challenges for both Sung and Hunters. So overall you can get 10 free shadow traces right here. So through the gates you can get pretty decent amount if you do them every day. At Battlefield of Trials, make sure to do it on every reset. Do the story, level up Sung. This is all basic ways to get the shadow traces in this game. Now, since we have 100-day celebration, now we have even more ways to get shadow traces. I'm just double checking here, but I believe we don't have shadow traces here, but I'm just double checking. Yes, I'm correct. Okay, but no worries, we have other ways to get shadow traces. I believe here we cannot get shadow traces. Just double checking, sorry guys. I did double check everything, but I'm double checking again. But I'm pretty sure here you cannot get shadow traces. But no worries. There are events now where you can get plenty. Yeah, no, here you cannot. Okay, good. Nevertheless, you can get them right here. If I go into the events. In the drop point, this is where you will get additional 10 shadow traces. Make sure to do drop points event. So the weapon growth tournament is dropping tomorrow. Like this, you're gonna also increase the loyalty event points. And of course, do the armor 1 challenge. I made a guide on the previous video. Like this, you're gonna increase the points right here, which is super easy. And you will get free 10 shadow traces right here. Also, through the treasure hunt, you can also get the shadow traces. Okay, so pretty much if you want to go like full on unlocking and everything else, hunting for those shadows traces as well, you will get 2 per board. Okay, 2 per board. So if you constantly and always hunt shadow traces, overall with how everything works, you can actually get a pretty decent shadow traces from this as well. Okay, I didn't got it now, but it really doesn't matter. Here I believe we have none. Lucky Clover, only gold, and a really good amount of gold, so I'm definitely taking it. So this is 100% worth doing. Okay, so I believe now we covered all basic stuff, how to get it, and of course, Battlefield of Time. I believe that's one pretty obvious. In the challenge of Battlefield of Time, in some parts you will see shadow traces for free being here. Now I cannot show you, but in some of those tiers you will have also free shadow traces here. And based on your score that you done on the run here, so I'm currently now rank 7 on this one. Rank 7, so the reward for me will be group rank reward will be, for example, 15 shadow traces. So by doing Battlefield of Time and the challenges, this is how you're gonna get also shadow traces as well. Okay, so that's about that part. Now we have the guild shop. I believe that's the final destination we have. I might have forgotten something. I might have forgotten some ways, more ways to get shadow traces, but I cannot remember. Maybe in the challenges a little bit we get it, but I don't know. I believe maybe sometimes. I cannot remember that part. Okay, so doing the guild boss missions and just doing the guild boss activity, you will gather coins, right? And then with those coins, you can buy shadow traces every 7 days, right here. Okay, we reached level 3. Well done, guys. Shout out to everyone. But here it is. So traces of shadow, here you can get 30, guys. 30. So guild shop will be one of the best ways to actually prepare for KAISEL, because on weekly basis, if you need shadow traces, if you believe KAISEL will be broken, this is 100% worth getting. Okay, of course the weapon as well is the highest priority here at the end of the day. Okay, for now I can just like buy one, but I'll grind more and get more. But definitely shadow traces and those weapon tickets, really, they're also super rare and they're worth getting with that weapon. Of course the buffs, I absolutely love them. Activity funds, EXP, I'm taking all of these buffs. It really helps me out tremendously. Although, was this 100% worth it? No, maybe it's better to save up for the fragments, but at the end of the day, I want to maximize the rewards I am getting here and the buffs. So it's pretty nice, and over time, like, it will take a few months until we max out the weapon. So it really, just take your time, but focus on the weapon as well. Don't forget about that. We have in 2 days the reset, again, new shadow traces we're gonna be able to buy. So the guild shop on weekly basis, 30, guys. That means if you buy it in 1 month, so that's 4 times 30, right? So you can get like 120 shadow traces on monthly basis if you focus on this part. This is a really good way to get shadow traces as well. Okay, now, so I believe I covered everything. Make sure to play, like I said, Battlefield of Time, just to make a quick summarization now. Battlefield of Time in both challenges and the time, whatever. So in both Battlefield of Time and challenge Battlefield of Time. Okay, both of these ways you can get shadow traces. Playing story in some ways, gates, leveling up your Sung, doing the event with the treasure hunt, right? Yeah, treasure hunt, and as well doing the 100-day drop points, and as well doing the loyalty event drop points from the guild shop that I showed you right now. And I believe we covered everything. Let me just double check everything one more time and we can end the video. Oh yes, you can also get the shadow traces from the achievements, okay? So just by playing the game, you will get even more shadow traces. So overall, it is definitely doable now. We have much more shadow traces available. Maybe not much more, but we have more ways to grind the shadow traces for sure. I'm now at 478. Ideally would be 700, but still 450 is fine. In my eyes, KAISEL will be extremely broken and I cannot wait to get it. Please tell me, was this guide helpful? Do you know now all the ways to grind the shadow traces? And as well, new shadow KAISEL, here we come, I cannot wait. Make sure, guys, before we end, to support me in content creator program. I have so much more codes left, especially essence ones. So yeah, support me, you're gonna get them. And please, in the comment section below, tell me, thank you, Rokage, I got the codes. Let's build up that algorithm. At the same time, I want to see how everything is going. Massive shout out to my top supporters. And yeah, see you next one. Bye, guys.